I'll check that out another time. I do remember some of those lines. Ash was a total jerk to Misty like all the time.
Yeah, I didn't remember that.
And he stole her bike like episode 2 and never gave it back.
Got it destroyed even.
Ash used to be a gangsta.
He took it and then he broke it, bro.
Yeah.
From thief to world champion.
He's trying to save his Pikachu.
He was.
Turns out the Pikachu saved him. The whole thing. The bike did get obliterated in the process.
Yes. Bike was a black smoldering mess by the end of it.
That's what she gets for being Misty. Just for being her.
I mean, she wasn't exactly nice either. But
No.
yeah, it was ridiculous.
I feel like Brock was the only one who was really chill.
He was also older. He just had that maturity.
That's true. I would hope he was chill.
He's walking around with a couple of 10-year-olds.
It's so wrong that you can just go out in the middle of nowhere with a Pokemon adventure when you're 10. Like, leave your parents. They give you like $500 and they're like, all right, goodbye. Don't come home until you're a master of a gym.
Until you're the very best.
Is that a new kitten?
Look at my new kitty, guys. New kitty. Other one doesn't like her much. Probably going to hiss here in a second. Who is that? Oh, nope, just growling.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
New kitty. With name.
New kitty. Vibe.
Vibe?
Vibe?
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I got the vibe right. New podcast.
Because when she meows, it vibrates. Oh.
All right, y'all ready to talk about some pirates, though?
Arr.
We could all also do our pirate voices for this episode, too.
The whole entire one.
The whole... I don't know about
to have to.
I'm definitely down to do some pirate accent, though.
I don't know if I can do a Captain Jack impression on a microphone.
I do... I guess I do more like Barbossa than Jack.
Oh, yeah. Barbossa's, like, for sure, the more stereotypical pirate.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I never even tried to do Jack Sparrow.
We'll see where we get to. You never try to do Jack Sparrow?
Not really.
He's way more of a smooth talker, so it's a lot harder to like think about.
I feel like he almost sounds like he's drunk all the time, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, but
He has like a way with how he enunciates. He kind of separates words. Like, I don't want to butcher it. I'm trying to think of a line that he would say.
Yeah, I'd want to watch a movie or two and find a good line that can get me into the flow of him.
roaring of a key.
And that's the life of a pirate.
Hello there, bartenders. I don't remember the line, and I lost it like after the first word. No, in the second movie, or is it the third movie where he goes to that town after he escapes, and he's like at the bar, and then the other girl comes. That's the line I was pulling from.
Oh, I don't know. Why is
before he like gets dropped into the water and
Captain Jack Sparrow?
He walks at the bottom.
I didn't remember.
I'm one of them Cockney pirates.
You're for sure on Barbossa's crew with that one.
I'm coming for your booty. Beauty?
Yeah.
There's a whale over on starboard side.
Oh no.
Yo.
It's the intruders.
It's like literally the best minion, like right hand henchman voice. Anytime you need a henchman, who's gonna be like that dumb henchman who like kind of gets things done, but not really.
I like
You-
Igor for that.
You need your voice. You need the Cockney voice, Igor.
Yeah, when someone's like, "Hey, Cameron, can you do something for me?" Sometimes I'll be like, "Yes, master," or something like that.
Quit blowing holes in my ship.
Hey.
That's the line. Right, that's the one that'll get you into it.
The trigger phrase.
He yells that right at the end. Well, not right at the end, but during one of the big battles, he's all locked in jail and they're shooting holes. Like, we're blowing holes in my ship. It's a whole thing.
I feel like he just talks very smooth and just does that.
All
Like
right,
he's like very light.
Definitely got a cadence. Who's opening and closing?
I think you open, Cam.
So you missed last episode when it was supposed to be your opening. So now this was going to be your opening. We're gonna reverse one and then skip back ahead. Savvy.
Yar! Why, hello everyone, and welcome to A4NB4Y, the Zelda theme podcast that's currently deep diving into Breath of the Wild 2. Darn it.
That's the one.
That's the one. Alright, let me start that over.
Oh, steam ahead, Captain.
Welcome to A4NB4Y, everyone, the Zelda theme podcast that's currently deep diving into Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, fine booty, that one. Last episode, we had an adventure-sode, and we talked about Lost Woods. And this episode, we're talking about pirates. My name is Cameron Barbosa, and these are me dirty co-hosts.
My name is Captain Ryan Fonzie, Captain of the Black Pearl.
And my name is Anthony, and I found me some pirate parrot on an island over the South Way.
Nice.
All right,
Nailed it.
we're here.
We're
Here to talk about some pirates. It's been a while, guys, since I've had a good bout with the pirates.
Same.
And since Wind Waker, right? I don't think there. Well, no. Skyward Sword had some pirates. They were robots, but they were pirates.
Oh, that is true. Robotic captain pirates.
But
One of the best
Breath of
duels.
the Wild, sadly, pirateless. Not a pirate in sight. It's a shame. So, we, seeing all of the pirates in this game, have decided to make a special episode entirely about the pirates of Tears of the Kingdom.
Worth.
They show up quite a bit, actually. And we welcome back Cameron. He was absent last episode, but he's back.
I'm back.
Things are getting sorted out over at Boko. At least enough for him to be here tonight. So that's encouraging.
Yeah, he found another mask. It is a whole thing.
There we go.
Mm.
So yeah, guys, there's a couple of places, key areas where these pirates show up. I think like the main one is actually Llewellyn Village, but I'm wondering if we should start with Eventide instead. Any opinions on that?
It doesn't matter what we start with. I started with Akala Pirates.
You started with the Akala Pirates.
Yes.
All right. That is all right. That's what we call backwards. We're going to go ahead. I want to do the story pirates first because I think they're just more relevant. It's a little bit more meat, and then we could talk about like the residual pirates afterwards. And
how dare you compare them to residuals?
Akala to me feels like a finale for the pirates. Is really what I'm trying to say. I think Eventide is kind of not a true introduction. Yeah, I mean you could be introduced either way. But I think it's almost like it plays almost like a mysterious introduction. Like, what do you mean there are pirates? And you go find them, right?
Right.
And then we'll kind of go from there. So, Eventide. So this, I mean, same place as you remember losing all your stuff in Breath of the Wild, but this time you can just kind of shoot right over there. It's so easy that there's actually a Korok who needs to reach his friend who's like on the shore and wants to go all the way to Eventide with you. So you can do that on your way over if you want. Just build yourself a wing and fly on over.
I did not know that. I just went to a sky island and went diving.
There you go. That's even easier. I think there's like a King Gliok above Eventide.
It looked like, I didn't go to that, but it did look like an arena that would probably be a King Gliok, because I don't think any other arenas that look like that up in the sky have been anything but a King Gliok.
Yeah,
there is a King Gliok out there. Mine was a little bit more creative. I had recently gotten the Yiga trawler from the depths, and so I built that. And I don't remember where I launched it from, but I was perusing through the ocean. And I remember watching a YouTube video where you can stick like the little electric rods on the tip of your little ship. So I was just cooking up some fish while I was driving through the ocean.
Nice.
Restock my supplies for cooking.
I fashioned a rope out of the hair on my back and wrangled a couple of sea turtles. That's
Yarr.
how I made my way to the Eventide. All right, so once we get there, we can find an NPC on the shore. Sesame. That's literally his name. SCSAMI.
Open?
I guess so. Open for business, he is. Who came to explore the island, but has been inhibited by 3 monster camps around the island. They're pretty much right where they were in Breath of the Wild. I mean, a little more developed, a little bit different, but there is one up on like where the camp used to be. Now it's an actual fort up on the cliffside. I think there's another one that looks more like a developed campsite, and then there's another wooden fort just randomly on the island somewhere.
Koholint Rock. Isn't that like a callback to some other game?
Yeah, Koholint Rock is Koholint Island, like is Link's Awakening. Except okay. I think there's an N in the word or something. It's like Koholint or something like that. It's very close in spelling. So that is for sure the reference there. So you can go around, you clear out all of these pirate monster camps.
I think each camp has one silver minion. There's a silver Bokumbus in the wooden one. There's a silver Moblin in the one that's like more towards the beach, and then the one that's up the highest has a silver Lizalfos, if I remember right.
Nice. So yeah, series of monster camps. I don't have any special stories for these. I mean, I definitely snuck around a couple of them, but as with most things, you get caught and then you just have to go into full-on combat.
I had a problem with these because they were all landlubbers. There wasn't a single pirate. They're all just basic enemies.
Very much so.
We're seeking the pirates.
Side note, if you want, there is a hole you can jump into. Don't know why I suggested that, but there is a Colosseum down the hole. And if you fight this Colosseum,
you get the best armor.
You get Xant's helmet.
Hey.
I didn't get that.
What did you get?
I got Midna's helmet.
Midna's helmet?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm confused. I thought I got
It's
Xanth's helmet.
mighty nice. I had like 7 or 8 base armor, and I was like, I'm not that far in the game, so this is gonna be my helmet.
Okay, yeah, so Xanth's helmet's in the Elden region, so I was wrong about that. What is Midna's helmet? Hold on.
Midna.
We're gonna look this up. What is Midna's helmet?
If I remember correctly, it's gloom.
It's what?
Gloom resistance, I think.
Oh, that sounds right. Yep. Okay. Gloom. That's why I never use it, because I actually have the Gloom set. Yeah, it does the same thing as the helmet, except you don't get a set bonus.
Too good for Midna. I mean, it makes perfect sense.
But she got that armor rating though. That thing starts at like 7 or 8.
Whoa.
Side note, I guess if you do get Xanth's helmet, it makes you freeze proof, so you can't be frozen. It's one of the best pieces of armor I own.
Xanth's got no chill.
That's in the Elden region that we talked about a few episodes ago.
So definitely wearing that when you fight an ice Gleeok.
Yeah, 100%. You put that on when it's an ice Gleeok. Even an ice like, just throw that on and they're completely powerless.
100% Gleeoks don't realize.
Gleeoks don't realize.
100%.
All right, but that, like I said, that's a side note. We don't even care about that Coliseum because there's no pirates in it.
Arr! Filthy landlubbers.
Once we've cleared out the island, we are then told by Sesame that he saw some pirates come and hide behind the island. He's like, they went behind that big cliffside over there and just kind of disappeared. I don't know where they went, but maybe you can find them. Which is just a big old hint that if you go around the back side of the island, there's a big old cave, and in that cave there be pirates.
There be pirates, all right.
And this is, I mean, if you've never seen pirates in the game, I'm not gonna lie, this wasn't the first one I did, so I'd already known about pirates, but this setup is gold. I love the way this is put together, just as a encounter, as a set piece. You come in here and it's the ye old cavernous cave with a path going all around the outside border, and then a big old schooner pirate ship chilling in the middle. It's got the boss Bokumbus on it with all of his crew, and then scouts just kind of positioned in the cave all around. How did you guys approach this one?
So I absolutely love this. The set was amazing, and the first time I approached it, I did both times in a wing, but the first time I actually messed up and hit the cavern wall on the outside, and I saw the Bokoblins, I saw the ship, and I saw everything, and I like fell to the water. And I was like, no, we're redoing this. So I reloaded the save point back at the island, and I did another go. And as I got close to it, I like perfectly aligned myself to go straight under it, and then I took a time bomb out, attached the time bomb to the wing, jumped off the wing, let the wing fall onto the pirate ship. And then as I was in the air, I did like a Jason Bourne Mission Impossible, and I did a bunch of bomb arrows on the archers that were like towards the right side of the wall, and then there's some archers in the back wall. And then I like land on the pirate ship as the time bomb goes off, and then I just am like right there ready to fight the boss Bokoblin, and I was just going ham on him. And it was like the best entrance. I'm never going to be able to repeat something that cool in this game, ever.
So you Prince of Persia'd your way into like a John Wick situation.
Yes. Just full like situation. Just took everything out. Just handled it like a man, like a boss.
Okay.
Double O's Z for Zelda.
Double OC.
I did more of a Solid Snake approach. I think I ended up going down into the water and kind of swimming up, but there was one Bokoblin positioned on like the left side of the ship. I think there was an archer up top, like 2 archers up top, but one was off the front of the ship and the other one was kind of off to the right. And the first thing I did was sneak around and take out all the guards, like all of those scouts. And then I went back up to the top, like up front, And by this time, the boss Bokumbus was sleeping on the ship. I'm like, that's not how you win fights. So I came and I drifted down, glided onto like the crow's nest, like up on the top of the ship. Because there was no enemy up top for some reason. A lot of times there are, but this time there just wasn't. So I got up there, and then as I started coming down, I launched in some muddle buds and some puff shrooms, and then just got down there and went to town.
Sneak attack.
Yeah, between the sneak attacks and them attacking each other, they really just didn't stand a chance. It's silliness, especially whenever I see a boss Bokumbus, I'm like, let me get out my muddle bud real quick, mess up this whole man's career. Just my go-to.
Sounds like some Harry Potter thing. Yo, don't make me use these muddle buds.
Well, he'll just wreck his whole own crew. It's so sad, but at the same time, I'm like, listen, they put this in the game for you. It's top strats.
And so we had Fonz with like the stealth spy approach and Mayo with like the action hero approach, and I wear the barbarian armor for a reason. So I jumped in that ship right in the middle with all of them. I'm like, yo, I'm taking you all down. And so I took out a couple guys, ended up getting hit, was like, I'll be back. There's arrows flying. So I jumped off. I took care of the guys around in like a semicircle, jumped back on the ship and finished them off. Using a weapon that had like base 75, 76 damage, a silver moblin horn on like a perfect scimitar I got out of an amiibo, I think. A perfect Gerudo scimitar.
Nice.
Just wrecked them.
There you go. Get in the middle of the fight, get hit by an arrow, and be like, "Excuse me?"
Yeah, pretty much.
Rip it out, just break it.
Jump off the ship. I'll be back for the rest of you. I got something to deal with real quick.
Yeah, they waited patiently. It was nice.
They weren't like chucking rocks at you the whole time.
Well, I don't know if I really stopped moving enough at that point. It was like run up to one of the archers, smack, 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 and then just keep running. So if they were throwing rocks, I think I was just leaving them in the dust.
Gotcha.
There was also, I'm pretty sure, a one of those like spike barrier shield thingies or like spike gate thingies on the ship, like against the wall. And so for like I remember for the last few guys, I put that on a spear, and just those things are brutal if you get those on a spear. If you know what I'm talking about.
Are you talking about the Forest Dweller spear?
Like the sheet of metal with the spikes on it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you. Like the armor plate. Or
yeah.
Straight up spikes out of a shrine or something.
No, it's like a wall, like a armor wall of spikes, and you just like can attach it to your shield or your weapon, and those things are brutal.
I've definitely made those, especially in like the challenge shrines where it's like, oh, fight all these constructs using just what's in here, and there was like a thing of spikes and a spear, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make a push broom of death. Just start smacking people. But no, I know what you're talking about.
There was also like a little area up behind the ship that was covered in spikes that you had to kind of climb onto a part of the ceiling that was coming down and jump off and glide in. There was like a topaz in there, some arrows, some other stuff, some bananas.
Yeah, there was a shrine hidden back here too.
Yeah.
They had a whole treasure room, like with a bunch of rupees and precious gems. And then a blessing shrine as well. I'm reading off of a website right now, so sue me. But there's a ruby in the chest if you're interested in rubies. But yeah, very cool stuff. I think you can even go back to Sesame after this is all done, and he'll give you yet another reward for having done everything there was to do on the island, basically. But yeah, this is not without reward. You get all the pirates' booty.
Yeah.
It's a real thing that really happens, and that's why we're talking about it.
Pirates be pirating.
Yeah. So this is like the hideout of the pirates, right? So we've already kind of taken it back to where they're coming from. But these pirates have already made their way across all of Hyrule. So one of the major places that they have decided to take on is one of our favorite towns. Llewellyn Village has been essentially taken over by pirates.
Yeah.
And you learn this. I mean, if you talk to any Llewellyn NPCs, because they're kind of spread across Hyrule right now, whether it's Rhaenyra over in Heteno, she was the one of the windmill watcher people. She was the one who moved there in Breath of the Wild. It was like her whole backstory. I remember talking about her on the episode that we did for Heteno. She'll tell you about it, how she's worried about home. If you talk to the Curious Quiver, I think is what it's called, in the Sheikah village, she'll say the same thing in Kakariko. She'll basically tell you that she's worried about her hometown. There's a couple of merchants even in the headquarters, like the little, fort where what's her face is. What's her face?
I love what's her face.
Lookout Landing.
There you go. That's what I was looking for. Sorry. So yeah, there's actually a couple of Llewellyn villagers who have also been relocated to Lookout Landing. They run the shop there, and when you talk to them, again, they're like, "Oh, I've heard pirates have moved into Llewellyn. We've all kind of been like all around Hyrule. We can't really go home right now." So if you make your way over towards Llewellyn, up at the top of the hill that overlooks it, you will find our good old friend Bolson, along with Rosal, who is the chief of Llewellyn, or the chief of what was Llewellyn. Because if you look down there right now, what you're gonna find is a pirate ship and no Llewellyn. Llewellyn's been burned to the ground essentially, and all along the shore and on the ship are pirates.
Those darn pirates.
They're back.
How could they do it to the peace-loving Laurelians?
I know. This place used to be so chill. Now it's scorched earth.
Used to just be opening chests left and right.
Yeah. So this fight, this little bit of combat, because these two guys are standing up here like, oh, what are we gonna do to help? Like, this is terrible. Neither of them are warriors, I mean, I'm sure Bolson could swing a hammer and just like wreck some pirates, but that's not really his deal. So, it's your job. And I came across this actually pretty early on in my playthrough. But this is when I was experimenting with making constructs of my own. So it took me a few tries to get the formula down, but I ended up making a scooter bot that had a stabilizer on it, and then some of those Zonai heads that kind of point the weapons where you want them to go, with some lasers, some flamethrowers, whatever I could fit on there, and I ended up just kind of walking around the beach with my pet robot as it destroyed everything.
Ooh,
nice.
Yeah, like I said, I did my first few attempts at this didn't go so well. Definitely had some robots that just failed pretty hard. Kind of embarrassing because I would definitely stream the whole process. But when it finally did work, it worked a little too well. It was just like obliterated things before I even had a chance to get involved. So definitely a cool place to do some robot testing if you're into that kind of thing.
Robot. I don't know if that's really humane testing.
Listen.
They're the forces of darkness. It's all right.
I know. They're literally Ganondorf's minions. What do you want?
Made a pirate robot that could shoot lasers, had a flamethrower, and was just awesome. Super!
Cool,
Yeah.
blimey.
I think only Cameron will probably get that one.
Ayo.
Yeah, he kicked it into like fourth gear and just went to town. Fed him a gum fruit. It's all good.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was 2 pirate ships here, right? Or was there only one?
From the images I'm seeing one. I think it was right off the dock,
Yeah.
but there was the whole dock and the beach was covered with enemies too. So I think it was just one ship. But the implication is a lot of enemies came on that one ship and then scattered around the beach.
So I think this was where I was like, I don't know how to get onto the pirate ship. So I think what I did was use a spring, and then when I was in the air, I kind of glided over and then just unloaded bomb arrows.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
I just
YouTube.
those aerial strikes. You just really they're really effective. Those bombing runs.
That podcat was very impressed.
You like bombing runs, I hear.
She's very excited, explosively happy.
Damn. Have
I
you
told
had
ya.
a chance to have you had a chance to do this mission? Have you fought the pirates of Lorelin?
I have, yeah. I pretty much just went in there, guns blazing. When I needed to get away and got surrounded, had them all grouped up. I was rocket shielding up into the air as well to get onto the boat, and just taking them down with bomb arrows from above, landing, hitting them with some ice weapons to freeze them.
Okay.
Digging into my arsenal.
Did either of you knock any guys off the ship into the water?
I did in the last area.
A couple of dudes for sure suffered that fate.
Not this encounter.
It's wonderful because they just can't swim.
They can't swim. They're pirates who can't swim. You knock them off, that's it. They're done.
They've all eaten the smile fruit.
They've all eaten the boko fruit.
Oh no.
They're terribly not water resistant. I think I even got some that were on the beach to fall into the water, like just deep enough where they couldn't swim.
It's like 2 feet, and they're like, no.
Like, my body proportions don't allow for this.
Just get a shield with a spring on it and keep pushing them in.
There you go.
They all drown, I swear.
I told them not to swim, but they all went swimming anyway. But yeah, this actually is just the beginning too of the Lorelin quest. Because when we inevitably defeat these pirates in wonderful fashion, what it does is it opens up a quest to rebuild Lorelin Village. Bolson requires some material, something like 30 logs. So you actually have to grab a bunch of logs and bring them down the hill to him. I don't think it's 30, I think it's like 15 or something, but it's enough where it's a pain. I will say
it's
that.
It's also like you can't just go out to like so and so area and chop trees and then bring him actual logs. Like, he requires specific trees, and you have to like chop them down and then glue them all together and then transport them to where he is.
His whole deal is they can't be palm trees. So all of the trees that are the easiest to get in this area are like no go. You have to find a regular tree, cut it down, and bring it. He doesn't like follow you around and pick out trees, but he does tell you that the palm trees are off limits.
Garbage.
Not good enough.
At least for now. Once he gets those, and like a ton of Tabantha wheat for whatever reason, he doesn't even explain what he needs that for. If somebody in the construction field knows why you would need wheat to put houses together, maybe he's using it for the roofs.
I think it was supposed to be like the game doesn't have straw, so it's like the closest thing.
Gotcha. Yeah, so to make the straw roofing, you need to bantha wheat. So you grab a bunch of logs and wheat, and eventually, I didn't even like farm for this really. The logs I did because you kind of have to make a thing of it. But once it was just, now I need to get wheat, I was like, forget it. I'm just gonna play the game, and whenever I see wheat at a store, I'm just gonna buy it, and eventually I'll come back here. And that's how I did that mission. So after a long time of playing the game, I eventually came back to Lorelin to rebuild it. Because you only need to do the collectathon once. Once you do all of that, Then there's like one building that's already kind of rebuilt, but it's full of water and garbage. And he's like, "Can you get the garbage out of this building?" And so you climb up there and you get all the garbage out of the building. And he's like, "Oh, that was amazing." And then you can start rebuilding other buildings.
You better believe you'd be crazy to think that I did any other building first than my man, the Lucky Treasure Shop, okay? You'd be crazy.
You did the
We need to
Lucky
open a
Treasure Shop
chest.
first.
Yes.
I think the Lucky Treasure Shop is the only one that doesn't end up being free, if that makes sense. So the story kind of goes with all of them, because every location pretty much opens up at once. There's maybe one extra thing you can do later that you can't do immediately upon rebuilding the town. But most of the places become a foundation, some kind of ring basketball hoop looking thing on the top, and Bolson's struggling getting these roofs built because he doesn't have support for the ceiling, for the roof. So he wants you to cut down a palm tree now specifically, but a straight palm tree, not a crooked one, and put them through these rings on each building. Whenever you go to rebuild a building, you just gotta thread a needle, basically. But doing this, you can rebuild the restaurant, you can rebuild the inn, you can rebuild the Lucky Treasure Shop, and you can rebuild I don't know, a couple other small places. I think a couple people's actual like houses, like homes for villagers.
Armiz's house. I think that's his name.
Yeah, Rosal's house too. I think you can rebuild. And once you rebuild it all, there's a little celebration cutscene. It's pretty cool. And all of the villagers basically are just in love with Link now for saving the village and rebuilding it. And you can get any of the amenities in Lurelin for free. So if you want to stay in an inn and get those extra hearts, or just, get a night's rest and get your health back, you can do it for free at Lurelin. If you just want a free seafood paella, you can come to Lurelin and they'll just give it to you. There's a fisherman who's got roasted porgies just like on deck. He'll just give them to you. They're just there for the taking anytime you come through town.
You are the hero of Lurelin.
Yeah. And the one dude who used to be the gambling addict, I think this might be who Anthony just named. He's got a picture in his house of the Heart Lake, that's up the hill. It's like a little pond that's in the shape of a heart. And it's specifically shown at sunset, and it has something like 5 fairies flying around it. And if you ask him about it, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, Zelda took this picture. She'd always love to go up there and take a look at this pond, but only at sunset for some reason." And I'm like, "Bro, what do you mean for some reason? Clearly there are 5 fairies that only show up at sunset." So I actually put one of my warp panels that I got from Robbie just up on that mountain, so that if I'm ever like catching the sunset, I'll be like, "Oh wait, I should go get those fairies," and I just warp over and try to snatch them.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's that?
My hand is up. What's the warp panel?
Oh, have we not talked about Robbie and his whole like box of tricks?
No.
No.
Oh no. Okay. I'll tell you when you're older.
Okay. I've clearly never done the quest yet.
Yeah, no. I think we were saving it for when we actually do Hateno.
Like, I don't even have the shrine finder yet, so
That's also Robbie. Do you want to take a guess at what the last thing is from Robbie?
the Iga set?
No. I actually don't even remember.
The Guardian Builder?
And the Guardian
No,
armor.
I think it's the Sensor Plus. Like you can just check for other things that aren't shrines.
Oh.
He's got a set of things though. Robbie's Secret Tech Lab.
I went to Robbie's Tech Lab, which actually used to be Pura's Tech Lab, and he was like inside it, but he wouldn't let me in.
Yeah, you have to do the camera work in the depths, which is like the first depth mission, and then a mystery in the depths, which I think is the central, like when you go fight Koga and all that, like when you finally follow the statues and find like that central area that has the refinery,
But I found it.
then you should be good to go. Because then
But I'm
he'll head
not.
back to his thing.
Captain Koga be a mean captain.
He do.
Okay, so let's see. If you do these things and then you go talk to him and he's all like, oh man. And the requirements for these are actually really low as well. But Llewellyn's actually not far, so we might as well just talk about it. You go and you talk to Robbie and he gives you a bunch of quests. They're really easy. The travel medallion, Hero's Path mode, and the Sensor Plus are the three kind of quests he gives you. Like those are the rewards, the 3 rewards for each of the quests. No. Oh yeah. Okay. So for the travel medallion, you have to go find the prototype, which is in a different research lab. I had already done that by the time I got to this point. So I already had the travel medallion on me, like the prototype. And he was like, oh, you already got it. Great. Well, here you go. And then he made me 3 travel medallions that you can just put anywhere and have 3 fast travel spots. Up to 3. And if you want to cancel one, you can just go to it on your map and cancel it. It comes right back to you. You put it down wherever you are. So it's like super convenient. For the Sheikah Sensor Plus, I think you just have to have visited like 15 shrines, which is nothing.
15 whole shrines?
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's really like really simple. And then for Hero's Path mode, it's something equally easy to do. It's like having a picture of a certain amount of enemies, I think. So okay, so for the travel medallions, you'll get 1 just for having the prototype. But if you have 10 regions mapped, then you get 2 travel medallion gates. If you have 15 regions mapped, you get all 3. So again, I had the whole map done by the time I got this, so I just got all 3 at once.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Hero's Path is the 15 shrines. So I think I had that backwards. And then Sensor Plus, once you have the camera ability, you need to gather information on 5 different types of monsters. So you just need to have taken pictures of 5 different monsters for the compendium. And then you can get the Sensor Plus. So I had all of these conditions met before I even got to Robbie. So I just got all of these goodies the second I found them. And that's the travel medallion that I put next to the heart pawn. It's a bit of a tangent, has nothing to do with pirates.
Yarr! I need to get those, though. Those sound mighty convenient.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
It definitely does add a lot of convenience to the game. I think I have my sensor set to Hardy Truffles though. Like something silly like that where I did anyway until I found out something like, you remember the Hiteno school where, you teach the kids all about making monster curry and the history of the Calamity?
Yeah.
When you do that, you get access to a field that somebody in Hiteno will actually just work for you. And you can give her a vegetable and she'll just grow whatever it is. So she just makes hardy turnips for me all the time.
What?
Hardy radishes. Every time I show up, I get 2 hardy radishes as long as a few days have gone by.
Those are so good. It's full heal.
It is full heal, which is exactly why that was the veggie I chose. She was like, if you do something like a hardy radish, I can only make a couple of those at a time rather than a whole field of them. And I'm like, yeah, game, because it would break everything if you just gave me infinite radishes. But that's kind of what she does anyway. So
I wonder if bananas would be one you get a lot of.
Oh, I don't know.
Attack power up is nice.
It is nice. Bananas are kind of easy to come by in this game.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah. Anyway, back to the pirates. Right?
Arr.
I guess before we go to our finale pirate encounter, I did want to put out an honorable mention to this episode. As you know, there are 3 different monster control crews that kind of go around controlling the monsters.
Mighty fine lads they are.
Yeah, they're wonderful. Each crew has a different captain, and one of these captains is a woman named Flaxel. And Flaxel does not play games. She's actually the two missions that she had. I actually found were more interesting than the other squads. Just because they're a little more involved. Link actually has to do something to help the squad before the fight can begin. Whereas with the other 2, they're just kind of like out in a field somewhere and they're staring right at their enemy, just waiting for you to be there. But the first one is to bring peace to Pharaon, I believe. And when you bring peace to Pharaon, you have to go find a pirate ship that is up the river, and is pretty much parked right in the middle of a couple of little cliffs down into the river. So what you can do is there's like one of those bridges, kind of like from. You remember how when we were in the Fire Temple, how it was just like a bunch of links that were hanging, like a chain bridge or something that just wasn't connected.
Yeah.
The pirate ship like has one of those hanging off the side of it, and you can hook it to the side of the cliff, and that way the whole army, the whole squad, can like run up onto the pirate ship and fight the pirates with you. It's
Huzzah!
cool. Yeah. It's a very quick fight because, I mean, you're at this point when we were fighting entire pirate ships by ourselves. You get a squad to help you. It gets real easy. But it was a good fight. It was a good, memorable moment. I know we were probably going to end up talking about the monster control crews as a whole another time, so we'll save the rest of that for then. But that is another pirate battle, so I want to make sure that we mentioned it. But the real pirate fight is this one over here. Up in the Akala region. You go up to the East Akala stable, and you can talk to an NPC named Aya, AYA, who is very concerned. Like, she's outside sweeping, or she'll be inside sometimes. You know, she's one of them sweeping NPCs.
Yeah.
But she's just always worried about these pirates that she's seen all converging off the coast. She's like, if they decide to come up here, we're not really ready for that kind of fight. And so, like, every time you talk to her, she's just like, them pirates, man, they're bothering me. So if you go over to the east, like off to where the actual, ocean is, you'll see these 3 pirate ships like off into the mist, which is actually a pretty cool visual. And you can fly down here and fight Christoblin Bokumbus.
Christoblin.
Bokumbus.
He's got the 3 ships, man. That's what he's up to. He's trying to colonize. No, so we
Mob flower.
Yeah, you can just straight up take him on. And I mean, flying down into an actual all ocean battle, like there's no land around this fight. You just jump from ship to ship the whole time, and there's all kinds of enemies. And this was pretty much the most glorious fight with pirates, I think, in the whole game.
Yeah, okay, let me dance around this because I want to say it, but it has some spoilers. But I had a so overly powered weapon for a few of the ships until it broke, which, RIP fragile weapons in Tears of the Kingdom. But
yeah,
I had a wind cleaver, which are the, like, I don't even remember where I got it from, to be completely honest. I don't remember how I got this.
Weapon, my guy.
What?
Isn't that a Yiga weapon?
It is, but I don't remember exactly how I got it because I'm pretty sure like the big dudes carry it, or
I
at
mean,
least in the last game they did.
you can get one just up the hill from the Istakala stable because there is a Yiga hideout up there. And if you try
That's
to
probably
go
where I got
into
it.
it, you get attacked by like a regular Yiga and also a Yiga with a wind cleaver.
That's probably where I got it. Okay, so yeah, I had one of those for this part of the fight, and I had done a little something that I'm gonna dance around, but I did get an item from this part of the story that I did. And what this item does is I attached it to my wind cleaver. Now, let's just say the wind cleaver base is insane of a weapon. So if you charge this thing, it will just instantly like shoot this wind cleaver like slice, like vacuum slice out, and it'll just knock anything into the air and send them flying. So like I'm just on the ship here, just working on these bokoblins, just flinging them up into the air and just sending them off the ship. They can't swim. They got that
Oh,
bako
no.
throat. And the weapon that I had is super OP because it's like a 25 to 30 upgrade. So on top of the wind cleaver, you're sitting around like 65 to 70 damage. And then not only is there like a vacuum slice that sends every mid to small sized enemy flying, but the item's special ability is it heals on every single hit. So every time I strike an enemy, it heals like a certain percentage. I don't remember exactly what the percentage. I think it's probably like around like 3%. So it's not a lot, but it comes in handy when I wasn't like paying attention fully because I'm just going ham on all the dudes on this thing, even the boss Bokoblin that was on one of the ships. And like you got like Arakudas and archers and everything, but like I just felt like an anime character. Like it was like straight up Dark Souls because I'm just flinging around vacuum slices with this overpowered weapon just healing on hit. It was magical until it broke on like the second ship, and then I did other things.
Monkey D. Linky over here.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Doing the thing. Knocking around the baddies.
Yeah, I think what item I attached on, but I don't know.
There's a lot of high-powered items that we haven't talked about yet. I mean,
yeah.
Was it another wind-based item? That would help narrow it down.
No, I healed on hit.
Oh, you healed on a hit. Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Nope.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm dancing around it.
Gotcha. Yeah, let's not get into that.
But it was nice. It was nice. It was just felt like I was too overpowered for that fight and wrecked them.
Yeah, maybe a bit. I mean, they give you explosives and stuff on the ships. I mean, there's quite a bit to work with this too. I remember making some like red box spears and chucking them from ship to ship and stuff like that. Very fun set of fights here.
Yeah, I haven't done this yet, actually, but it sounds like this is a perfect time to put a spring on my shield and do some drowning.
You're in for a treat.
Let's just say, Cameron, you could enact the classic Sea of Thieves sink my ship with red barrels.
Hey, I love that so much.
Yeah, you can get your revenge.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is legitimately just 3 ships, practically in a triangle, and you can just jump around and have a ball. Because I mean, when you're on one ship, the other 2 ships really don't have too much they can throw at you. It just leaves open a lot of mobility possibilities going around and just taking people out.
Yeah, they got some like archers and the crow's nests and some Arakudas like taking the high ground, but yeah, if you stay low, like you're pretty good.
It reminds me of remember when we talked about Lurelin in Breath of the Wild and they send you over to that monster camp? Like one of the guys is like, "Oh yeah, down the beach there's this big camp monsters that we have just been like taking up all the best fishing spots. You could take them on. It's that level of fight. It's just a big complex full of monsters to kind of navigate around and fight off. And if anybody's interested, that same monster camp kind of exists in this game, but it's been taken over by Zonai constructs, which actually makes it less fun.
Yeah.
But they're there if you want to go fight them.
I don't like the constructs because the combat is just different. Like with bokoblins and moblins and stuff, it's less technical of a fight, and you can really much just have like an all-out free-for-all, like go around and just have like an epic fight with these dudes. But constructs is a lot more tech-based, where you have to like here's a attack, block, dodge, attack. Like it's very technical, and it's just not as fun because they have a specific pattern that you have to adhere to. And especially if there's more than one, there'll most likely be one using a flamethrower or an archer set, and it's not as fun to do. And I just don't like construct fights. Like when I see construct camps, I just actively avoid them unless it's like, a shrine, you have to go into them. It's just, I don't know, it kind of irks me. And you don't need construct parts. You get so many anyway. It's like, unless it's like a soldier 4-horn, I'm not taking it.
Yeah. I hear you.
They boring, man. Come on.
Tell me
And the weapons they use are pretty meh.
Not like pirates. Pirates are great.
They are great.
Pirates are the pinnacle of enemy design.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think on one of the ships there was a silver boss bokoblin too, which was pretty fun.
Yeah, there was.
That was the one at Eventide.
That was Christoblin. Bokumbus.
Oh, that was Christoblin.
Oh goodness.
Once they bokoblin.
But I think
Yeah.
Ponce de les Alphos. Yeah, but that's all the pirates I've found. I don't know if there are any other pirates in the game. I haven't found any other ones. But I think that the ships are well designed. I think that the fights are fun. I was happy to come across them, and I'm glad that we got an entire episode out of.
Yeah. And you know what's even better is you can truly navigate it however you want. I've seen some crazy YouTube videos where people are building these epic Zonai crafts to get onto the pirate ships or just to like destroy the pirate ships. Like I remember one dude like built just a gunship that you could just like fly over the pirate ships and just blast them from above, which is less fun because it's overkill. Or like I know this one dude built like a sea motorcycle, and he like was like riding the waves like on top of the water going super fast, and then he like aimed up and he like arced it up and like onto the pirate ship, and then did like an action scene.
Launched his own motorcycle.
No, yeah, it was like a motorcycle. It had the two wheels on the front, so it was like a aquatic motorcycle. But I think there was like some part of it, like maybe wood on the bottom, that was buoyant, and like he was going so fast it was keeping him afloat. And then he like aimed up, and I somehow like got airborne and then like landed it on the ship and just started going ham on them. It was great. So like you could pretty much do whatever you want and like be super creative.
If you have a link for that video, send it to me and I'll put it in the show notes.
It was in one of those like the best 30 Zonai builds videos. So I don't know. I'll try to find it.
Okay. Sounds good.
He caught some tubular waveage, bro.
Cool, y'all. So that I think is going to be our episode. As long as y'all are good, I will put a bow on it.
Wrap that thing.
But we haven't drinking any of the rum yet.
All right. So this has been our episode of A4NB4Y. Thank you all for listening, being such a great audience. If you want to reach out to us, you can on the link to our website. We'll include that in the show notes. Otherwise, if you want to support the show, one of the best ways to do that is to leave us a review on your podcatcher of choice. We will be back in a few weeks. Don't know what we're talking about next, but pretty soon we're going to be heading on our way to Zora's Domain. So we will let you know how that goes. But in the meantime, y'all have a good couple of weeks, and we'll catch you next time on A for No, B for Yes.
Protect your booty, it's precious.
Did you get all that?
I'm trying to think of like in a few years, like where does Zelda go from here? And there, I don't know necessarily if how the ending works for this game. I'm assuming it's probably the last Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know necessarily what their direction is for the next game, but they've made so many Zelda games already. I find it hard to believe at this point and where we are in time and space and the universe that they're not going to make a 3D remake of the best-selling Zelda game that they've ever made, which is most likely Ocarina of Time. I know they can definitely be creative, and like the creative team is brilliant, and they could chalk up another, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, but like I feel like that formula is going to break if they try another one like this.
Maybe.
Like I'm sick of Tears of the Kingdom. No lie, like I want to finish it. I like the game. It's fun. There's so many things you can do. But like the combat is just like to this point, like it's been so used. I'm like ready for like a new Zelda like gameplay. If that makes sense.
It does. It does. I think what's going to help us out is when we are done with this game, going back to a like traditional dungeon Zelda game.
Yeah.
Because after this, all we're going to have left is, aside from the 2D titles, is games that play very much like that.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see where they go after this, and I find it really hard to believe that they're not eventually going to do a theatrical remake for Ocarina of Time, or at least another game.
Listen, if they
It makes
did
sense.
an Ocarina remaster, whatever you want to call it, remake, that's like a Final Fantasy VII remake, like something that really expands it, like keeps the story but adds detail, makes the missions longer, makes the places bigger.
I'm just saying like a full on, yeah, like kind of like how Final Fantasy VII did it, like Breath of the Wild or Skyward Sword like engine graphics, and they just do the world like that.
Yeah.
That would be
That'd
wonderful.
Pretty cool.
It would just be so cool to have Ocarina of Time played out like that. And like you could make the landscapes a little bit bigger, but not so much that it like affects the story.
Yeah.
And like honestly, I'm like, where did they go from here? Like they just killed it with 2 games that are like you can't come back from. Like when you make something so big, you have to keep doing big or you can't ever, at least for the mainstays, like they have side titles and you can do a side title however you want to do a side title. It doesn't matter how you do a side title. Like Link's Awakening, I consider that like kind of a side title because it's a remake. But like a mainstay, like if you're making a mainstay, it's got to be big. And unless they do like a Tiers 3 or something different with the engine they have, I'm like, they have to do something just as big. And I'm like, the only thing I can think of that's just as big is a Ocarina of Time. Like, just going back, man. It'd be so cool. But who knows? They're creative, so they might just pull something out and just do something similar to what they've been doing.
Welcome to Shatsunami, a variety podcast that discusses topics from gaming and films to anime and general interests.
Previously on Shatsunami, we've analysed what makes a good horror game, conducted a retrospective on Pierce Brosnan's run as James Bond, and listened to us take deep dives into both the Sonic and Halo franchises.
Also, if you're an anime fan, then don't forget to check us out on our sub-series, Chatsunani, where we dive into the world of anime. So far, we've reviewed things like Death Note, Princess Mononoke, and the hit Beyblade series.
If that sounds like your cup of tea, then you can check us out on Spotify, iTunes, and all good podcast apps.
As always, stay safe,
Stay awesome, and most importantly,
Stay hydrated.